Okay, so let's move into more complicated examples for simplifying rational exponents. In particular, I'm going to go over some easy-ish examples and then a really, really hard example for us to get kind of a grasp of all of the properties being used in one go. So I'm going to first start off with this one, which is, let's say I have something like this. 5 to the 1/3 times 7 to the 1/4, raising all of that to the third. I don't like the fact that this base is not the same as this base, so I'm not going to touch that right now. I'm going to start on the outside first. I see that I'm raising that to the third. When I raise a product to a power, one of my properties says take that power and distribute it into all of the powers. Okay, so if I take 1/3 times 3, 1/3 times 3, that'll get me with 1. And then let's say I take the 1/4 times 3, I'm going to get 3/4. So that's what happens when I take these and multiply them all out. 5 and 7, I mentioned, don't have the same base. So none of my properties say anything about combining these two. This is my answer when I'm only dealing with rational exponents. That's my answer. Okay. A more complicated example. Let's go into something actually pretty crazy. Let's go into something like this. This is going to use all of our properties in one go. Let's say I've got something like x to the negative 3/2, y to the 2/5, all of that over x to the negative 3/4, y negative 6/5, x to the 1/4. And you're going to hate me even more. Let's take that whole thing and raise it to the negative 4th. And you're probably like, whoa, that was a big jump. I don't even know if I could do this. Well, actually, it's just taking every piece that we've already learned and just putting it all in one go. I'm still going to start on the outside. There's a lot of stuff going on in the middle. I don't want to deal with that. So let's take that negative 4 and put it inside everything and see what happens. So I'm going to take each power and multiply it by negative 4. Negative 3/2 times negative 4 is going to give me x to the 12/2. On a good day, 2/5 times negative 4 is going to give me negative 8/5. Let's see what's on the bottom. Take that negative 4, multiply each power. My x power is going to be negative 3. Actually, it would be positive 3. Because the 4 and the 4 will cancel, I will just be left with a positive 3 on top. I'm actually going to get rid of that plus there. My negative 6/5 on my y, if I multiply that by negative 4, I get y to the 28/5. I'm sorry, 24/5. 24/5. 1/4 times negative 4 gets me negative 1. So now what I want to kind of do is I kind of want to work on each level now. I'm going to see, okay, is there anything the same on the top? Well, no. I've got a base of x and a base of y. But on the bottom, I've got two x's, so let's combine them. If they're on the same level, I'm multiplying. If I multiply two of the same bases, I'm going to add their powers. So I'm going to rewrite what I have on the top down here. What do I have? I've got x to the 12/2, y to the negative 8/5 over x to the third times x to the negative 1 gets me x squared. I have a y to the 24/5 remaining. Now I think it might be wise to get rid of this negative exponent here. The way we get rid of negative exponents, move them to the other side. Okay. I'm also going to simplify this down to 6. 12 divided by 2 would give us 6. So when I move this y down, I'm going to be left with x to the 6th on top. I'm going to have an x squared. what happens now? I had my 24/5 right there, but I moved my y to the negative 8/5 down, making it positive. Now that these y's are on the same level, I can deal with them. I can add them together. I notice also an x is on top and an x is on bottom. I'll just subtract those while I'm at it too. I've got an x to the 4th on top. Actually, let me rewrite it over here. So I've got an x to the 4th on top from subtracting those. Now on the bottom, if I add my powers together, I'm going to get y to the 32/5. All of the properties in one go, and look at that, we got a really nice answer compared to the original one. So it's very helpful to take something as nasty as this and make it into something that looks a little nicer, like this.